Hello ambitious aspirants, I am Advocate Tamanna and welcome to Anmol Mehta's Super 20 IAS। तो जैसे कि आपको पता है हमारी न्यू करंट अफेयर सीरीज अखबार का ज्ञान जो आएगा काम शुरू हो गई है एंड वी इवन हैव अपलोडेड अ फर्स्ट वीडियो। ये है वीडियो फॉर डे 2 और इसमें जो कंपोनेंट हम कवर करने वाले हैं वो है पॉलिटी, गवर्नेंस इन IR। हर वीडियो में देयर विल बी 10 क्वेश्चंस विद द आंसर्स। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं हमारी सेकेंड वीडियो। Question number 1. Consider the following statements. The re-examination of an order issued by judicial, quasi-judicial or administrative authorities is known as habeas corpus. Certiorari is a legal process that instructs judicial or quasi-judicial bodies to halt proceedings over which they have no jurisdiction. Which of the given statements are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. So let's talk about writs given in our constitution. Habeas corpus, related to personal liberty in cases of illegal detention and wrongful arrests. So statement 1 is incorrect. Mandamus, directing public officials, governments, courts to perform a statutory duty. Quo warranto, to show by what warrant is a person holding public office. Prohibition, directing judicial or quasi-judicial authorities to stop proceedings which it has no jurisdiction for. And certiorari, re-examination of an order given by judicial, quasi-judicial or administrative authorities. So statement 2 is also incorrect. Let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 says, consider the following statements. According to the Constitution of India, the governor shall from time to time summon the house or each house of the legislature of the state to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit. The governor always has to act on the aid and advice of the cabinet and cannot decide on his or her own on summoning the house. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both. And option D, neither 1 nor 2. The answer is option A, 1 only. The governor shall from time to time summon the house or each house of the legislature of the state to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit, says Article 174 of the Indian Constitution. The provisions also put on the governor the responsibility of ensuring that the house is summoned at least once every 6 months. Although it is the governor's prerogative to summon the house according to Article 163, the governor is required to act on the aid and advice of the cabinet. So when the governor summons the house under Article 174, this is not of his or her own will but on the aid and advice of the cabinet. There are few instances where the governor can summon the house despite the refusal of the chief minister who heads the cabinet. It's when the chief minister appears to have lost the majority and the legislative members of the house propose a no confidence motion against the chief minister. Then the governor can decide on his or her own on summoning the house. But the actions of the governor when using his discretionary powers can be challenged in the court. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. Which of the following law regulates and also sought to create a universally accessible adoption law for India? Option A, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. Option B, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1986. Option C, Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. And option D, Central Adoption Resource Authority Act. The answer is option C, Child protection in India is regulated under Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. The Act also sought to create a universally accessible adoption law for India, overtaking the Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act 1956, applicable to Hindus, Buddhists, Jains and Sikhs, and the Guardians and Wards Act 1819, applicable to Muslims, though not replacing them. To streamline adoption procedures for orphan, abandoned, and surrendered children, the existing Central Adoption Resource Authority, CARA, has been given the status of a statutory body to enable it to perform its functions more effectively. A separate chapter on adoption provides detailed provisions relating to adoption and punishment for non-compliance. Processes have been streamlined with timelines for both in-country and inter-country adoption, including declaring a child legally free for adoption. There is no such act as Central Adoption Resource Authority Act. CARA has given a status of statutory body under the Juvenile Justice Act. Let's move on to next question. Question number 4. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution says that all questions at any sitting of either house shall be determined by a majority of votes of the members present and voting? Option A, Article 100. Option B, Article 120. Option C, Article 123. And option D, Article 143. The answer is option A, Article 100, says that all questions at any sitting of either house shall be determined by a majority of votes of the members present and voting. So about Article 100 in the Constitution of India, voting in houses, power of the houses to act notwithstanding vacancies and quorum. Save as otherwise provided in the Constitution, all questions at any sitting or either house or joint sitting of the houses shall be determined by a majority of votes of the members present and voting, other than the Speaker or the person acting as Chairman or Speaker. The Chairman or Speaker or person acting as such shall not vote in the first instance, but shall have and exercise a casting vote in the case of equality of votes. Either House of Parliament shall have power to act notwithstanding any vacancy in the membership thereof, and any proceedings in Parliament shall be valid notwithstanding that it is discovered subsequently that some person who was not entitled so to do sat or voted or otherwise took part in the proceedings. Until Parliament by law otherwise provides, the quorum to constitute a meeting of either house of the Parliament shall be 1/10 of the total number of the members of the house. If at any time during a meeting of a house there is no quorum, it shall be the duty of the chairman or speaker or person acting as such either to adjourn the house or to suspend the meeting until there is a quorum. Let's move on to next question. Question number 5. Which of the below given statements are not correct about State Election Commission? Statement 1. The State Election Commission will be in charge of supervising, directing and controlling the production of electoral rolls and the conduct of all municipal elections. Statement 2. The state legislature has the authority to create provisions for all things connected to municipal elections. Select the appropriate code. Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. Election Commission is not concerned with elections to panchayats and municipalities in the state. For this, the Constitution of India provides for a separate State Election Commission. The superintendence, direction and control of the preparation of electoral rolls and the conduct of all elections to the municipalities shall be vested in the State Election Commission. The state legislature may make provisions with respect to all matters relating to elections to the municipalities. Let's move on to question number 6. Consider the following statements with reference to electoral bonds. An electoral bond is like a promissory note that can be bought by any Indian citizen or company incorporated in India. The electoral bonds are available for purchase for 10 days in the beginning of every year. The electoral bonds will not bear the name of the donor. Which of the given statements are correct? Option A, 1 and 3 only. Option B, 2 and 3 only. Option C, 1 and 2. And option D, 1, 2 and 3. The answer is option A, 1 and 3 only. Electoral bond is a financial instrument for making donations to political parties. The bonds are available for purchase by any person who is a citizen of India or incorporated or established in India for a period of 10 days each in the month of January, April, July and October as may be specified by the central government. The bonds are issued in multiples of rupees 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh and 1 crore without any maximum limit. State Bank of India is authorized to issue and encash these bonds which are valid for 15 days from the date of issuance. These bonds are redeemable in the designated account of a registered political party. A person being an individual can buy bonds either singly or jointly with other individuals. Donor's name is not mentioned on the bond. Question number 7. There is a parliamentary system of government in India because option A, Lok Sabha is elected directly by the people. Option B, Parliament can amend the constitution. Option C, Rajya Sabha cannot be dissolved. And option D, Council of Ministers is responsible to the Lok Sabha. The answer is option D. So option A points to a democratic system, but it does not necessarily mean a parliamentary democratic system. Like, for example, in USA, the Congress is also elected, but it is a presidential democracy. Option D is correct because collective responsibility of the Council of Ministers to the Lok Sabha, Article 75 says, lies at the heart of parliamentary democracy. According to Article 75, Subclause 3 and Article 164 of the Constitution, the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the House of People. Question number 8. Consider the following statements regarding Article 32 of the Indian Constitution. Article 32 affirms the right to move the Supreme Court for the enforcement of the rights conferred in the Part 3 of Indian Constitution. The rights guaranteed under Article 32 is absolute and shall not be suspended. An individual approaching the High Court under Article 226 for the violation of fundamental right is itself a fundamental right. Which of the above statements are incorrect? Option A 1 and 2, option B 1 and 3, option C 2 and 3 and option D 3 only. The answer is option C. It is one of the fundamental rights listed in the Constitution that each citizen is entitled. Article 32 deals with the right to constitutional remedies or affirms that the right to move the Supreme Court by appropriate proceedings for the enforcement of the rights conferred in the Part 3 of the Constitution. It states that the Supreme Court shall have power to issue directions or orders or writs, including writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto and certiorari, whichever may be appropriate for the enforcement of any of the rights conferred by this part. The rights guaranteed by this Act shall not be suspended except as otherwise provided for by this Constitution. During the 1975 emergency, a 5-bench of the Supreme Court in the ADM Jabalpur versus Shivakant Shukla case had ruled that the right to constitutional remedies under Article 32 would remain suspended during a national emergency. The 44th Amendment also stated that according to Article 359, the President could issue orders suspending the right to move any court for the enforcement of fundamental rights under Article 32 during national emergency, with the exception of Article 20 that deals with the protection of certain rights in case of conviction for offences, and Article 21, protection of life and personal liberty. In civil or criminal matters, the first remedy available to an aggrieved person is that of trial courts, followed by an appeal in the High Court and then the Supreme Court. When it comes to violation of fundamental rights, an individual can approach the High Court under Article 226 or the Supreme Court directly under Article 32. Article 226, however, is not a fundamental right like Article 32. Question number 9. Under the Constitution, both Article 323A and 323B deals with tribunals. Which of the following specifies the difference between the tribunals established by these entities? Tribunals under Article 323A are established by the central government, whereas tribunals under Article 323B are established by the state governments. Tribunals under the former deal with tax and financial matters, whereas tribunals under the later deal with more general matters. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. And option D, neither 1 nor 2. The answer is option D. While tribunals under Article 323A can be established only by Parliament, tribunals under Article 323B, example foodstuffs, tenancy, etc., can be established both by Parliament and state legislatures with respect to matters falling within their legislative competence. Under Article 323A, only one tribunal for the centre and one for each state or 2 or more states may be established. There is no hierarchy of tribunals under Article 323A, whereas under Article 323B, a hierarchy of tribunals may be created. So let's move on to question 10. Which among the following is the correct function of Public Accounts Committee? Option A, it works under the President of India and creates accounts for various ministers. Option B, it works under the Comptroller and Auditor General of India and prepares accounts. Option C, it is a parliamentary committee which gives report on non-planned expenditure of the government. Or option D, it is a parliamentary committee which scrutinizes the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. The answer is option D. The Public Accounts Committee, PAC, is a committee of selected members of Parliament constituted by the Parliament of India for the auditing of the revenue and the expenditure of the Government of India. The PAC is formed every year with a strength of not more than 22 members, of which 15 are from Lok Sabha and 7 from Rajya Sabha. The term is for 1 year. The chairman is appointed by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Since 1967, the chairman of committee is selected from the opposition. Its chief function is to examine the audit report of Comptroller and Auditor General, CAG, after it is laid in the Parliament. CAG assists the committee during the course of investigation. None of the 22 members shall be a minister in the government. So I hope you guys like this video. If you have any doubts, you can comment anytime. So do like our video, share it with your friends, give us a thumbs up, hit the bell icon for more videos. Thank you so much and happy learning.